Hey everyone, Mr. Newman here, and today we're just going to multiply a few polynomials real quick, just for some practice, and we're going to do a binomial times a trinomial, so make sure you pay attention, especially towards the end of this. So first of all, if I say calculate the product means to multiply. So we're just going to write these two next to each other like we're multiplying. You guys know that we distribute twice, so I'm going to distribute the x plus 4 across to the x and to the 5. So we get something like this. Then we distribute back, so the x goes back to the x and to the 4, and the 5 goes back to the x and the 4 as well. So we get x squared plus 4x plus 5 plus 20, because 4 times 5 is 20. Then we need to combine like terms, 4x and 5x. Those are like terms because they have the same variable with the same powers. And we get x squared plus 9x plus 20. This next one's a little more tricky because we have an x squared term. You see it's 3x squared, but it's the same process, and as long as you know how to multiply powers, that is, you add the exponents, then you'll be fine. Let's once again distribute the 3x squared minus 2 across each of these. So you get 3x squared minus 2 times 2x, and 3x squared minus 2 times 4. Then you're going to distribute the 2x back across, and the 4 back across, so we get 6x cubed. That's because 3 times 2 is 6, and x squared times x, which is really x to the first, you add the exponents, so it's 2 plus 1 is to the third power. Here, negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, and it's going to be times x. Then we have 3x squared times 4 is 12x squared, and negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. So there are no like terms here to combine, but it would be good to rewrite it in standard form. So let's put the 6x cubed first, plus 12x squared, minus 4x, minus 8. For the next problem, we're going to be multiplying a binomial and a trinomial. That's 3 different terms. So let's write it out here. And the x minus 5 is going to be distributed to the x squared, the 2x, and the negative 1. See how we have to distribute it to 3 places because it's a trinomial. So we have x to the first, second, and third terms. So we're going to write it out like this, plus 2x, x minus 5 times 2x. And now, be very careful here at the end. I'm going to show you guys a way. I don't even really like writing it this way, but notice that minus there has to be carried down. If you have a plus between the terms, you have to have a plus between the things that you multiply by later. Here we have a minus, so we have to have a minus down there. Now we're going to distribute back across. So the x squared gets distributed, the 2x, and the 1. So x squared times x is x cubed, minus 5x squared. And then we get x times 2x is 2x squared. Negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. And this minus right here, it's a 1 that we're distributing, so that doesn't really change anything, but I really should have the minus act like a negative 1 because that's what it does. The negative 1 gets distributed to the x and to the 5. In other words, it's minus x and minus the 5. So we get minus x and minus 5. Now we just combine like terms. There's only one cubic term. There are 2 quadratic terms, in other words, where the power is 2. There's 2 linear terms where they just have a single variable to the first power, and you have our constant there is just the 1 by itself. I color-coded them, so we're going to combine those. So we get x cubed, negative 5x squared, and 2x is negative 3x squared. Negative 10x and negative x is negative 11x, and minus 5 at the end. That's our answer. For the next one, we're going to multiply a binomial and a trinomial again. So here, where the powers are a little bit trickier, but let's write them out side by side. This time, I'm going to show you guys the way I prefer to multiply it out, especially if you have negatives in the binomial or trinomial. So I'm going to distribute this, but since for example, 5 times 6 is the same as 6 times 5, it doesn't matter which of the 2 things, if I'm multiplying them, which I write first. So I'm actually going to write 4x cubed first and put the 2x squared minus 3 behind it. What this does, this lets me put the 2x right next to the minus that goes right before it. And that way I don't have to distribute the negative separately. It's just the negative 2x gets distributed all together. and then plus 3 times our 2x squared minus 3. So see right here in the middle, instead of minus and then the blue and then the 2x at the end, I just have minus 2x, which means I'm distributing the negative 2x across each of the terms in the binomial when I get to that stage. So let's do that now. 4x cubed multiplied by each of those, negative 2x multiplied by each of those, and 3 multiplied by each of those. Notice now that we have 3 terms we distributed to, we have 3 distributions we have to do on the second step. So we get 4x cubed times 2x squared, x cubed times x squared. You add the exponents when you're multiplying powers, so that's x to the 5th. 4 times 2 is 8. Then we get negative 3 times 4x cubed, that's minus 12x cubed. So then next, negative 2x and negative 2x squared is negative 4x cubed. Here, don't forget, we have to multiply negative 2x and negative 3. That's going to make positive 6x. And 3 times 2x squared will give us 6x squared, and 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So let's combine like terms. Those are the only 2 like terms. So we end up with 8x to the 5th minus 16x cubed plus 6x squared plus 6x minus 9. And I wrote it in standard form. That way our powers, our exponents go from the largest down to the smallest. Thank you very much for watching.